Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this little world map we have here. In the last video, we covered Mesopotamia and the early civilizations of Mesopotamia. I went ahead and recolored Egypt because I didn't like them being yellow, because I want to use yellow for the China countries we're going to cover today. Sorry, I just ate. I'm regurgitating. Alright, we're going to start over here in this little place here. And this early Chinese civilization system up here. Do keep in mind that everything happening in this video is happening alongside this. So pretend all of this isn't here, and basically the events of last video are playing out while the events of this video are playing. Alright, good. Anyways, these fellas are just going to expand along the coastline. They're a little limited, but that won't be for too long. So they just expand along this little bay here. Go all around. Alright, they have full hegemony over this little, what is this place called? I don't care. Anyways, a few of them decide to go exploring around, around the coastline here. And, they see things, they discover things. Nothing too interesting yet. They start moving into Korea, but of course they don't know that's a peninsula yet. They're exploring at rapid rates. We can't go too high though, because it's kind of cold. But we can't go down. So, over the course of maybe like 100 years, they explored the whole Korean peninsula. And, even some of the ocean around it. Well, not ocean, but sea. Well, that is ocean. Everything's ocean, really. Alright, so a few of them just decide to, they make the, oh, oops, wrong color. They decide, well, might as well make another country here since we can. Nobody's exactly going to stop us. So that's exactly what they do. They build a little civilization here in the Korean peninsula. While that happens, another exploring group is going down the coast here. And then they reach this little, is this a basin? Would that be the word? I don't know. This map doesn't have rivers. I think there's a river along here, which would make this a delta, but I don't know. So they discover a little bit of this, and they see, oh wow, this is probably a good place. Let's build another civilization here. Because that's what people do when they discover new land. Because nobody's going to stop them. So they make this kind of light yellow team color, country, place. I don't know. These places don't have names exactly. And language is a little primitive. So they establish a government there, they've established a government here, they've established a government over there. Anyways, the Koreans are expanding a little bit. Not too much. So are the mainland North Chinese people, the OGs of sorts. They're expanding the most because they just have the most people and they need a lot of land to fill in. And it's pretty easy to take land early on because it's not all taken yet. Or my squeaky chair, please. It's squeaking now. I don't know why. They're gonna continue going down this coastline because that's what they do. They're slowly lifting the fog of southern China. And they decide to, okay, I don't like how it's buttocks at the end there. So they start claiming this land down here. Of course, they have the blessing of being China, so They get huge populations very fast. Why? I don't even know. Oh, okay, I just did that on accident. I've. What is wrong with my computer? Okay, that is strange. All right, so there's still three Chinas. Nothing's changed. The Koreans get a little bigger again, and then they decide, well, might as well do some exploring around the sea here, see if we can discover some more fish. Oh, fuck. Okay, my bad. So I hate when that happens. So they're exploring around the coast here. Exploring, because that's basically one of the only ways they can go. Because up here it's too cold. And slowly but surely, they're exploring around here. You know, sending some rafts out, but they usually sink. And then they see something here, and they found new land, and it's revolutionary because nobody I think has found land off of water, oh, except the Indians, I guess. So that's happening. But they discovered a whole new island chain over here. Well, they don't know that yet, but they start doing some small exploring in here. You know, slowly but surely. And finally, they decide, well, let's establish a colony over here, since we nobody else knows this exists. So they're doing that. They're doing that. They have a bunch of settlers over here, and that's all good. We'll see. We'll check up on that later. As for these guys, they continue exploring and exploring. The governments are a little bit more stable now, so they can own a little bit more and explore a little bit more without people going and doing their own thing. They can assert more control, basically. That's what I'm saying. They slowly move down here until they get into this little region down here with this peninsula and island. I did not mean to use that tool. Okay. They cut over here and they're like, oh, there's more land down here. Why not go down here? Oh, hey, it's a peninsula. I don't think peninsulas have been conceptualized yet, but it's a peninsula. So they're going and going here and there until they discover this whole island. And I know I said they're a lot more stable now, but they make another civilization down here. Wow, that's a very weird color. Okay, is that too similar to any of the other colors? Let's find out. Maybe the Koreans. Not really. I need to make sure no colors on this map are the same. Even like over here. No? Okay. God, why is my computer acting up right now? It's just paint. I don't know what the issue is. Anyways, there are four nations in Asia, in East Asia now. There's a lot of nations in Asia. Actually, no, wait, almost every nation is in Asia. There's two African countries. Or, well, one multi-continent and one entirely African country. Anywho, these Chinese people, being the strongest, they move inland a lot because there's a lot of land inland. So they settle inland because they can do that. So they make huge expansion. And the Koreans also start moving up a little bit. And they start exploring a little bit more Japan until suddenly a few of the settlers on Japan are like, hey, they can't really stop us if we, make our own thing here. So that's exactly what they do. They make their own thing in Japan. Oh, please let me color. What color should I make Japan? Make a purple would work. Yeah, purple. It's perfect for Japan. Actually, maybe we should do like pink. Oh well, we already have pink countries, and um, this is better pink. Yeah, it's more pink. Pink. Make sure I got everything. So they establish a new nation, which comprises of most of these southern Japanese islands. And the Koreans, they really, really do not like that. So they do what anybody would do in this situation, and they declare war. Their capital is there, and these guys decide to build their. These are war capitals, not full capitals. So, well, it's their war capital. That's all you need to know, because proper capitals haven't exactly been established yet. So we just have to make things up. Well, that's not good. The Japanese are revolting. Who could have seen that coming? There we are. So it's a two-sided war. Nobody else decides to join in. However, the Japanese do get a little bit of money from the Chinese, but nobody knows, so it's okay. So the Koreans are the invaders. So I'm gonna let them go first. They make some landings in the southern islands where they began, and they meet retaliation. The Japanese are still kind of arming themselves because they just kind of started existing. And once they finally do arm themselves, they do it good. They start retaliating very hard. I should make this transparent so you can see. There you are. They start retaliating immediately, and they do it good too. They're very knowledgeable of the area. It's a kind of guerrilla warfare of sorts. So they kick the Koreans out, and they even make some landings over in Korea, but that goes a little bit less well. And that's when the Koreans kick them out, and that kind of fills their confidence back up. Kind of got ruined when they got kicked out. So they make another huge landing with a lot more troops this time because that's what you do when the first landing fails. You try it again, and they even make a second landing down south again. And these landings are a lot more successful. The Japanese struggle to put them down, but they win in the south. In the north, not so much. They run into some trouble. This isn't actually part of their country. It's not like accents. Okay. Oh, fuck. Okay. Whatever. Whatever. Anyways, they're kicking the Koreans out again, and that just completely ruins the Koreans' ego. And finally, they decide to sign an armistice and reach a agreement. And that agreement is pretty simple. The Japanese get to exist, and the Koreans pay them a little bit. And with this newfound money, the Japanese decided to do some more exploring. Exactly what the Koreans were doing. Because everybody wants power. They didn't really overthrow the Koreans because they didn't like them. They just overthrew them because they wanted power. They wanted their own country. So they do some major exploring, but it's pretty cold up here. So they have to slow down a little bit until they get up here to this little crossing the strait. Yes. Okay, well, they've just gained a bunch of land, and the country governments here are mostly comprised of dynasties, sorts of families, and some families want power more than others. And this is a newly established nation, so they're kind of struggling to find a leader, and that leads to some internal affairs, leading to a bunch of other states breaking off because they want their family to be in charge. So these guys break off. Um, some island down here breaks off. And even some of the new explorers decide, oh, well, might as well. And they establish their family as a leading power in Japan. Of course, there's other smaller families trying to build their own dynasties, but these are the major ones. These are the important ones, the ones that matter. And then the rest of this is kind of just taken by the other Japanese. Oh, damn it. Didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, it's still a little finicky. There we are. Okay, so there's many different kingdoms. I want this to look a little better. There we are. Oh, okay. Okay, just paint it all, I guess. These guys could look a little better too, with a proper border. Ooh, don't want to miss that mistake again. There we go. All right, so there's a bunch of uh problems in Japan, but that's okay. They'll they'll be like that for a while. I don't like your color. That sounded racist, but I don't like your color. I'm changing it. There we are. You can at least tell the difference, I guess. So we'll leave Japan to that and for later. Anyways, how long have I been recording for? Okay. These guys down here decide to do some major expanding. This is all happening while the whole Korean and Japanese crisis is happening. So they do some exploring, and they make some landfall. They kind of team up with these guys up here to explore some more of inland China. As for the fellows up here, they decide, yep, let's do some more conquering of virgin land. And these guys also do some stuff. They even kind of establish a border here. And these guys down here also make some expansion, but a little bit less because they don't have quite the population to do such. Anyways, um, what should happen next? I guess a group of explorers finally decide, well, we got this new technologically developed winter gear, because a few hundred years have passed since Korea has been settled, so they've developed, and they decide to go north, and they go very north. Very, very, very north. Into almost Siberian territory. Well, I'm pretty sure this does classify as Siberian land up here. So if they explore and they explore and they explore until they get up here and they're like, okay, that's enough exploring. Let's make a country. Is that a nice cold color? I guess so. That could be a little. Maybe we could change the hue. It's a pretty large group of settlers, so they have a lot of people to establish a nation with. So that means a lot of land can be filled. And they even start seeing, oh hey, there's an island over here, and they do that. This nation's very scarcely populated because there's not a lot of people relative to the other ones. There's a lot of people for an explorer. Okay, well, I don't feel like undoing that and doing it again. So let's just say all this got discovered somehow. They saw it with their eyes, so it exists now. Anyways, they land in Sakhalin and start discovering some in even northern Japan, but Japan's already been discovered. But now the rest of the Chinese countries know, so that might cause problems later. Who knows? Anyways, they're exploring and exploring, and they land in northern Japan. Start looking in. So these new oh fuck, this new country decides to do some exploring along here. Yep, on the coast here. Also, I'm just gonna take a second to finick around with even land in northern Japan too. I'm gonna finick around with this glow on the edge of the territories because I really don't like it. Just give me a second. I might. I'm too lazy to edit. I probably won't cut this out. Sorry. Victoria. I think that's all the lakes. Oh no, wait. The Baltic Sea exists. Sorry, I have to select all the water manually for some reason. Let's see if that works. There shouldn't be any blue on here. Yes. Okay, so that's gonna be that's gonna go into a new layer. All right, there we go. We've separated the glow for the most part, and now I can make this more transparent. Hopefully, yes. There we are. Sorry, I just had to. What the fuck happened there? Okay. I had to weaken that little glow effect. There we go. This looks way better now. Hold on. I like this. Okay, we're gonna keep it like that for now. Let's rename these. Just so we know. Wow, this looks way better. Hold on. Why didn't I do this in the first place? Anyways, I think I'm gonna end off the video here. Um the East Asian dynasties have been established. And I'm gonna quickly snap a picture for the thumbnail. That's good. There we go. Anyways, thanks for watching. Goodbye.